Everyone's favorite vampire, Dracula. Well, we'll talk about his real self, or rather the inspiration for Dracula, Vlad the Impaler. 3 times voivode of Wallachia in the 15th century and professional kebab maker. I will not talk about his second reign and war with the Ottomans, you probably saw 100 videos about that. He takes the throne from Vladislav II, a cousin or nephew of his, that dies in the battle in 1456. Between 1461-62, he starts the war with the Ottomans, raiding and burning Ottoman territories along the Danube, bringing destruction to the region, aiming to postpone the Ottoman response that comes in the spring of 1462, led by Mehmed the Conqueror himself. But he cannot find Vlad to capture or kill him, and his army, the Ottoman army, is deprived of food, sleep, and is constantly raided by Wallachian riders. So he leaves Vlad's stepbrother Radu with an army in Wallachia to take the throne from his brother. Vlad goes to Brasov in Transylvania, Hungary, to meet with his suzerain and ally, Matthias Corvinus, king of Hungary, which did not really want a war with the Ottomans right now, as he had other plans in West. So he'll arrest Vlad and hold him in Hungary as a political hostage. So Vlad will be in vacation in Hungary from 1462 to 1476, when Matthias gives him command of some Hungarian troops and sends him in Bosnia to get back at impaling Turks and conquering the Sabak fortress from the Turks. Due to the fact that Matthias's Moldavian vassal, Stephen the Great, was at war with the Ottomans for the past 3 years, that meant that the Hungarian king was also in a state of war with the Ottoman Turks, and the real problem in this conflict was Wallachia, which always changed sides in the Turks' favor. Stephen the Great conquered too many times Wallachia, changing voivodes with those loyal to the anti-Ottoman cause, but every time the Wallachian voivodes had to change sides again, otherwise they would be deposed themselves by the Ottomans with another pretender. I know, Romanian medieval history has far more intrigues than Game of Thrones. Okay, so Matthias had to assure the loyalty of Wallachia by placing on the throne from Târgoviște a voivode that would never ever change sides for the Turks. Which member of the Wallachian dynasty would be the best candidate? Great warrior and forever enemy of Turks? In the autumn of 1476, Matthias Corvinus organizes a military campaign which aimed to place Vlad the Impaler on the Wallachian throne for the third time. The Transylvanian army and the Moldavian army will coordinate their movements so they enter the enemy country in the same time, and they will expel the Ottoman loyalist Basarab Laiot the Old beyond the Danube, and so Vlad the Impaler gets the throne for the third time. Due to the weather, being end of autumn or beginning of winter already, it was not a great time for war, so an Hungarian-Moldavian-Wallachian offensive to the south of Danube would have to wait until spring, so the Moldavian voivode Stephen the Great will return to Suceava, demobilizing his army that fought the entire year of 1476 against the Turks, Tatars and Wallachians. But Stefan did not leave without leaving some 200 guards with Vlad to keep him safe. He might have done this also because Vlad abandoned his Orthodox faith for the Catholic one while in Hungary, therefore making the Wallachian boyars unloyal towards him, due to the fact that the official religion in Wallachia, and Moldavia for that matter, was Orthodoxy. And by the way, Vlad the Impaler never ever impaled any boyars or nobles. Never, it's just a myth. Any boyar would be killed by decapitation. That was the way. Another event that would change the course of history and the course of Vlad's life would be the wedding of the Hungarian king with Beatrice of Aragon. This extremely important event would gather all the important nobles of the Hungarian kingdom. That would also include Stefan Batory, the commander of the Transylvanian army, which also leaves Wallachia for Buda, leaving Vlad without any military assistance. Matthias probably thought that the Ottomans cannot initiate a campaign against the Wallachian voivode before the snows melt, But Mehmed the Conqueror did not want to risk anything with Vlad, remembering his terrible summer of 1462 that he spent in the Wallachian forests. Therefore, the Romanian base are ordered to give military assistance to Basarab Laiota right away, Vlad's rival and possible cousin or nephew, and therefore the Turks enter Wallachia in full winter, crossing the Danube, while the Crimean Tatars, also vassals of the Ottomans, cross the Dniester and will travel through southern Moldavia to enter Vlad's lands from east. Vlad was not living at Târgoviște, probably because of his internal enemies. He preferred rather Bucharest, at least up until he would have consolidated his rule. Spoiler alert, he would not reach that moment because the Ottoman forces under Basarab Laiota the Old and the Tatar army will meet Dracula in a terrible battle. We do not know the numbers, but taking into consideration the lack of internal support for Vlad, his forces were most probably extremely reduced. Basarab Laiota's forces were surely not that great either, being full winter, but for sure he had a numerical advantage. In this battle, Vlad the Impaler meets his end, dying in battle with most of his troops, because we know only about 20 Moldavians survived and returned to Suceava, informing Stephen the Great about Dracula's demise. The only man that could keep Wallachia in the anti-Ottoman alliance. We can only imagine what would have happened with such an united front on the Danube, with Hungary, Wallachia and Moldavia, ruled by some of the greatest rulers of those countries in the Middle Ages, with Stephen the Great being probably the best Christian commander in the second half of the 15th century in Eastern Europe. But hey, a wedding's a wedding, right? War could wait, it did not. And therefore the only Wallachian ruler that would remain against the Ottomans was gone for good. Lacking any internal military support and enjoying only some 200 Moldavian guards, Vlad was left to the mercy of the Turco-Tatar army that defeated him near Bucharest and put Basarab Laiota the Old back on the Wallachian throne, bringing back Wallachia into the Ottoman area of influence and ending any endeavors of resisting the Ottomans. So this is it, guys, this is how Dracula or Vlad the Impaler really died, based on the evidence found by two great historians specialized in studying Vlad, Adrian Gheorghe and Albert Weber. Please drop a like if you liked it, subscribe for more and comment something for the merciless algorithm. Thank you.